Right, so this is the idea with the propagator that I was talking about earlier. Got my lid here, lights, as I was mentioning. These are just some new ones that I had here at home. Two of those. I'm going to add 2 per unit here. Just thought I'd have a go at making them on camera. So good reference for me if it works. I know how to do another one properly, exactly the same. And also hopefully other people might be able to learn from it if it does work. So I've got here some Velcro strips that I've just cut in half because I don't need them as wide as they are. Managed to find some adhesive stuff that's actually got the adhesive on it already at home, which is good. That's the pack that the lights come in, pack of 4, so they're only $4.99 for 4 1-foot pieces. And so yeah, we've got some cable down here that we use, and obviously that would normally just connect into a normal cigarette lighter like this. It's how it's running down the plot, just with one of those what I've already got laying about. But just for the purposes of testing it at home, one of my other hobbies is Christmas lighting. So I have a DC power supply there, which is set for 12 volts DC, which is the same as what the lights run off. So I'll be able to plug it in at the end and test it and show you it all working as long as it goes well. Like I say, it's just an idea at the minute, so I don't know if it's going to work, but I'll try and build most of it on camera now. It'll probably be a bit longer video, but we'll get through it. So first of all, we secure the lighting strips in place. They do come with a self-adhesive strip on them already, but as I've found in the past, once they get warm, that just comes off and they fall down. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these in half. Use one half at either end. I've cut these the same length, so if they match perfectly. Like so. Let's go ahead and stick these on now. Sorry if I go quiet during the video, the football is on in the background, so you might hear that. I do apologise. There's one bit. It's really sticky, this stuff, which is hopefully going to work perfectly for what we need it to. And if I find I do need a piece all the way along, I can just add another bit in after. So I don't want to waste too much at the minute, because at the end of the day it's only a trial. So just go ahead and do the same on the other light. So this might be a bit longer video, but I'm just not going to edit nothing out of it, because I want to see for myself and for others how long it takes as well. So just cut this other piece in half. There we go. Just put them ones in there so we don't get the Velcro mixed up. Right, that's all 4 bits now, just about stuck down on the lighting strips. I'll go ahead and just put the pieces of Velcro inside the propagator lid now. We'll just see where we want them to line up first. Right, so there we go. It's a little bit fiddly getting it perfectly lined up, but soon gets there. And there we go. Like so. Go ahead and do the same with the other strip now. There we go. Slightly wonked that one, but it ain't gonna matter. Perfectly aligned with the Velcro, so as long as they're the same length, I'm not bothered. The Velcro. There we go. Perfect. There we go. So that's both pieces of lighting LED strip in there now. What we're going to do next, we're going to join these two power cables together. I'm going to just take the wire strippers and just strip a little bit more off there just to give us a bit to work with. These are just a cheap set, but the ratchet set are really good. Should have done this when they're out really, but there we go. I'd say if people do want any links to where I got the lights from, I can find them if you just put something in the comments, but equally so they're easy enough to find. I think these came off eBay, but you can get them on eBay, Amazon, pretty much anywhere, and it's something we can be doing when we're at home during lockdown, so which is really good. You can see it's just a little bit fiddly, this bit. Just do one at a time. One, just got the red one there to do. Positive. Well, that's no electrician or nothing, but it's all self-taught through doing a few Christmas lights over the last few years and whatnot, really. And obviously with the solar panel down the allotment. Right, so I'm just going to take some Wago clips, don't know if people are familiar with them. But those all they are, lever clips. You pull them up and down and slot your cable in. But these are really handy because they're three-way ones, so I can put both lights into those and then the power into that as well. Obviously one for the red and one for the black being neutral. So I'll just go ahead and clip them in. Whether I change it with a slightly longer bit in there, I'll see, but I think, to be fair, I'm quite happy with that. I'll just go ahead and do the same now for the neutral. So trim that one down slightly using side cutters. like so. Just do the same with this black one here. There we go. Just make sure they're fully down. Big clamps. Left the central one open on both of them, just to accept the input of power. So I'm going to go ahead now and drill a small hole through there. I've chosen to do it this end because there's already a sticker on there, which should prevent any chance of it shattering at all. So we'll go on there and just grab a drill. I've got it. It might be a bit noisy for a second. Try and be as quick as I can. There we go, that should be big enough. Put that down there out of the way. And just retrieve a bit of this cable just to check it does fit through the hole we've drilled. You don't want it too big because obviously we don't want no heat escaping. Once I'm done, I can just put a blob of silicone around it another day once I'm finished. I shan't be doing that tonight because I've not got none here, but I've got some in the shed or down the allotment. Just going to drill the hole slightly bigger. Let's try that again. So I want a tight fit, but equally so it needs to go through without damaging the cables. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Right, let's go ahead now and we'll strip a bit of cable off here. Like so. Just knock the camera there, so if it wobbles a second, I'm just going to put it back where it is. There we go, sorry about that. It's still waiting for my tripod, as I said earlier today. So it's actually just held up on the wall here at home. Yeah, that fits through lovely, that's fine. Right, so just go ahead and strip these cables down here. Strip the outer sheath off. I'm now just revealing the wire itself. Don't need much to go into the Wagos. 8 to 10 mil, something like that is perfectly fine. To be honest, you can get away with less, but that's just how I like to do it. You can see there, we've got blue and brown. I'm going to be using obviously the brown as the live and the blue as the neutral, as you would in a standard socket. There's no need for earthing 12 volt stuff. So just go ahead and feed that in there nicely. And then making sure we connect the right ones to the right one. Connect the brown to the red. Twist the end of the cable around and make sure no strands get excluded, because with 12 volt power, as we know, it's very easy to lose power. In one sense, I should be using a slightly thicker cable because it's more likely to keep power, but at the end of the day, this is just what I've got laying around, so it'll have to do. I'm not going to venture out just for a little bit of cable like this in the current circumstances. So right, they're all both linked up fine now. And so we'll run a length of cable. I'm going to just use a little bit, because what I shall do when I get down the allotment is daisy chain this propagator lid with another propagator lid, because I plan to run at least 2 in the setup. So we'll just run a small bit of cable to save wasting any, but enough so that we can stack them one on top of each other once they're out of use. Equally so, what's good with these connectors here is you can just unclip them and clip them as quick as that and unvelcro these, you take your lights out and away you go. So right, we just can cut a little bit off here I say for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to bother doing 2 here and now. If it works, fine, perfect. I shall run this for a couple of hours tonight at home, just to make sure when the lights get hot, they don't damage the plastic or make the Velcro come unstuck, just basically as a trial test. And also what I'm going to have to do is when I get on my 12-volt power system down the allotment, is check the power usage. So I'm not sure how long that will run for, because obviously it's not that sunny at the moment, and when it is sunny we're not going to be needing to use the lights, so we'll just have to try that in time and see how it goes. But at the end of the day, it's not cost me nothing. This is all stuff I had laying around. It doesn't work. All I've got is a tiny little hole in the side of my propagator lid, which, like I said before, I can fill up with silicone if need be. Just going to strip a little bit more off there to make it easy to get into the power supply. I'll say, don't worry, no one needs to go out and buy a power supply. This is only for the purpose of me testing it. You can plug it into a standard 12-volt socket on a car or something even, or you can run it off an old car battery with a couple of crocodile clips on the end of these and clip it on the terminals. And as you'll find with a lot of car garages, they will sell you an old battery for about £5, because that's what they're worth in scrap value to them, but they're still plenty good enough for a power supply like this on an allotment, as the way I see it. So right, so we'll just go ahead and link these cables into the power supply. Obviously this is not turned on, be very careful. Electrics, just got to find a screwdriver to do the terminals up with. There we go. In the pocket, just standard Phillips screwdriver. So just move it to the side a second, so I can get the power supply up here. So obviously making sure we get the right connection, positive and negative to negative, likewise. Where are we? So it's called V- and V+ on this. So it's just a proper 12-volt supply. And when I receive these, I do just put a multimeter across all the bridges there to make sure there's no excess power going through these, so I know it's running at 12 volts. If you did want to run this at home, obviously you can get these power supplies, and you could run ample. These will run, they're 28 amps, so or 27 amps I think it is. Obviously you want to take 20% off that, because you never run a power supply at full percentage. So you can run easily 21, 22 amps off this, no problem. I shall probably, when I can find one, I've got one at home somewhere here, put an inline fuse in this just for safety reasons. But I shall wait until I've got the two chained together and just put one inline fuse in that to save wasting 2 inline fuses. Not quite sure on the rating that I'll do that at the minute. I'll have to check what my battery is rated to down the allotment. So, right, I'll go ahead and get the bottom bit of the propagator. There we go. So, we'll just fit that on there like so. The power supply there. Double check the electrical connections. We don't want no mishaps. V+ to brown, V- to blue. Perfect. Right, let's plug it in and see what happens. We have light. As you can see, I'll turn this up. They are very bright lights, and I'm hoping they'll emit quite a bit of power. Quite a bit of heat as well, sorry. So what I've got down the allotment is a temperature gauge. I won't be going back down there tonight, obviously. It's about 9:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. I've got a temperature gauge that I shall put in here and leave it in there for a couple of hours again, just to monitor it, possibly tomorrow. And yeah, we'll come back with the results at the end of it. But first lookings, I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe, like I say, a little bit of extra cable between these two at the end, just to space those out slightly more. But I think I'll leave this one as it is. I will put some insulation. Obviously, it's going to get quite damp in there and humid, so I shall put insulation tape. The Wagos aren't waterproof, but as long as they've got insulation tape around and stops anything getting in them, they're absolutely fine. So I'll do that, or even possibly put any some Vaseline or silicone grease around them. Either or, very good, and that will just preserve moisture getting in there. So that'll help conductivity keep good. Right, so I think we're just about there for this one then. Very happy with that. Surprised at how bright it is actually. They are, and they're starting to get warm already. As I say, I'm just going to be interested to see how much temperature they produce, and if not, what I can do to add a bit of temperature. Whether there's a, I know for 240 volt systems, you can get a wire that you can put in the bottom over a little bit of sand, and that'll heat up, produce an element heat there. But I'm hoping these lights should be enough. Here's hoping. So right, I'm probably going to just knock up the other one now, but I shan't bother showing you them two. I might add a picture or a little video snap at the end of how I've got them both done, and yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Cheers.